So we're gonna work with the bolster for this exercise. This is a chin tuck with a wedge. So Mercedes is gonna demonstrate. So the key with the wedge is you wanna make sure you're on the right side. So go ahead and we can move the dog. Sam. So in this exercise, she's gonna demonstrate strengthening the front of the neck muscles. Now this is a very basic, gentle exercise. You wanna make sure the wedge is placed in the proper position, not too low, not too high. And you're gonna gently flex the chin into the chest, and you wanna make sure you follow breath. So we're gonna do a few poses there. And you flex in on your exhale, and you extend gently back to neutral position. And then breathe in and flex your chin forward, making sure that the back of your neck stays on the bolster, stays on the wedge. And you're gonna do that 5 times. And the key is after each flex, after you bring your chin in, hold it just for a little bit and then extend through. The next exercise is a seated fish. We're using a bolster and a block. If you don't have bolsters and blocks, you can just wad up a bunch of pillows and prop yourself up in a way that feels comfortable for you. So with the bolster, you probably want to use about 2 pillows. We're going to block the back up, and the block is for supporting your head to make sure there's not a large extension in the neck, which creates discomfort, especially with car accidents. You want to really make sure we're supporting and stabilizing the spine, because this is an acute part of the care where there's a lot of injury and inflammation. And so this is just going to help get a nice gentle opening, help move the lymphatics around, but also give you some support as you just gently open up the spine. Now this is opening the chest, opening the throat, creating some extension down into the shoulders, because as our neck gets tight, it's going to get tight into the shoulders. So the key is making sure you're breathing in the chest, breathing in the throat, breathing into the stomach. Your back should be relaxed. If your back hurts in this position, put another pillow underneath your bottom. Now you're going to want to do 10 full breaths, or a minute if you can handle a minute in this position. Now the next position we're moving into is the seated compass. Compass just means north, south, east, west. So the goal is to get into the 4 quadrants with this position. So this is a gentle seated neck roll. Normal neck rolls are all the way around. This is breaking it down into 4 positions. So you're gonna breathe in. You wanna make sure you're engaging your core, pulling in your belly button, stabilizing your spine. Now, because this is most for acute injuries, you just wanna give just a gentle flexion. So Mercedes has a lot of ability in her neck, so yours is gonna be looking a little bit less of motion because there's gonna be a lot of guarding. So you wanna just gentle motion left to right and gentle rocking up and down. Now you can sit in these positions as you move through, but remember there's weight on your spine because the head is heavy. The head's about 7, 8, 10 pounds, and gravity is pressing on it. So the weight of your head is just enough. We want to get just enough motion going on in the spine. And you want to practice this 3 times in each of the 4 directions. And now Mercedes is doing a great job of working the inhale and exhale as she moves in and out of position. That engages the core. That's going to stabilize your back and your neck. So the next position is a supported child's pose. Child's pose is a resting position. Being in support means we're going to brace the body. Support is opening up. So you can, at home, either use a bolster, you can pile up some pillows. This is just allowing for some gentle expansion into the shoulders, into the back, as we're creating some flow. This is going to help move the lymphatics and decrease some of the inflammation. So we're just working on opening up the side of the shoulders, opening up the hips, and now you want to make sure that your knees are wider than your pelvis. You want to make sure that there's stability in your knees. If your knees are starting to hurt, you can put a little bit of pillow or a block underneath your hips. Just enough to give you, but you want to widen your knees so that your hips comfortably relax down. And then you want to breathe into this position for 30 seconds. We're going to work with this being a relaxing pose. If you have any discomfort or any pain, you want to move out of this gently. But this should be an easy pose to allow the body to move some of the energy around and move some of the discomfort. Nice Next breath in. You can see how when she breathes, she engages the whole spine. Super important. So the next position is a seated cat-cow. This one is about moving the spine in and out, creating flow in the cerebral spinal fluid, about engaging the spinal neurological connection so we start turning the body back on after a car accident. Some of the difficulties with car accidents is that your body turns off to save your body from being injured more. So this is a spinal wave which is allowing the body to engage in flexion and extension because we have these curves in our spine that we need to restore function to. And you can see as she breathes in, neck back, you want to be careful with your injury that your head doesn't go as far back. She's got more flexibility in her spine, so you're just going to do a gentle enough stop at the level of pain. If your neck hurts, don't put it as far back. Your movement is based on your ability to move through discomfort but stop before pain. So rounding the shoulders opens up the back body, bringing the shoulders back opens up the front body, engaging the spine opens up the hips. So this is a nice gentle roll. Again, decrease the amount of movement if it's too discomfort, but try to move enough to get some of the wave to go through. So the next position is a ball hug. You're going to do the child's pose for 30 seconds, and then the cat-cow for 30 seconds, or the equivalent of 10 to 15 breaths. The ball hug, if you don't have a large yoga ball at home, you can pile up again. Couch pillows work great. Anything you can do to, even bolsters, you can pile up some bolsters. Anything you do to get some extension and release into the back of the spine right here. So the goal with this is basically to ragdoll over the ball, relax your body, let your head hang, and you can make the top of where your body is at the area that you want to focus for the discomfort. So if you have tight back, you focus where the back going straight up here. If you have a tight upper back, you roll the back down a little bit so the back becomes the top part and your head just hangs. And you want to breathe in your tummy, opening this part of the spine, and you want to breathe in there for about 10 to 15 breaths. Good. And when you come off of this, you want to bend your knees, come into a seated position, roll gently up, let your head kind of hang and drape before you come top, especially if you're going to have neck pain, and then come down gently. So the next position is legs up the wall. Now this is an inversion position. It's the same thing. Mercedes will sit here. We're going to imagine that there's a wall behind her. So this is just legs up the wall. This position is to help move some of the inflammation around. It's a lymphatic decreasing. So imagine there's a wall right here, and you're going to put your heels, touch your heels to the wall, and you're going to touch your bottom to the wall. So you're just resting your legs against the wall. You're opening your upper body, and you're basically allowing the fluid to move through your body, because what happens with injury is there's a lot of inflammation that goes around, and we need to move the fluid around, which helps bring in new nutrients and push out waste products. So this is a great, easy, gentle inversion that's going to help move the fluid around. It's also going to help take pressure off the hips, pressure off the spine, and give your body a little bit of a break in some of the stresses that it deals with while you're recovering. This one, if you get lightheaded when you come up, make sure you come up neutral and gently, slowly. You want to bend your knees when you're coming off the wall. So as Mercedes bends her knees, you're going to roll to one side and then push up with an easy arm. And you want to take a breath as you come up. Sometimes you can get lightheaded with this position. So you're going to want to hold that one for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on your comfortability. And that one, again, is just a resting pose. So right now is the acute phase. We're moving the inflammation back and forth and reawakening some of those little tiny muscles in the spine. So these are gentle, easy poses. Now, reclining bound angle pose. We're going to use a bolster. Again, you can use pillows at home. So we're bolstering or blocking for the head. We're bolstering for the back. We're not both blocking for the head, right? Oh, sorry, that was my fault. No blocking for the head. We're bolstering for the back. And if you need to, drop the pillows down a little bit more. But this is supposed to be an opening expansion, because a lot of times we get really tight hip muscles, especially in car accidents. So this is a gentle opening of the upper body The head should be resting on a pillow or resting on the bolster. You can see with Mercedes that her head is all the way supported, so there should be no stress in the neck at all. There should be very mild or light to moderate tension opening the shoulders up, but not pain. So breathe in shoulders. You want your knees bent to take the pressure off of your spine, and your back should be supported. So her back is carving down around the edge of the bolster. If this is too much of an arc, you can put a little pillow underneath your bottom, but you want to have it be open enough to get your upper body to open and be comfortable, but just enough to expand. So you do this about 10 to 15 breaths. If you can get into a minute, that would be great. If not, 30 seconds, work with breath on that one. The way to come off of this is gently roll to one side. So if you're on pillows, gently roll off the pillows and use an opposing arm to push yourself up. So this is phase 1 of your injury recovery program. We'll be moving into some more difficult poses after this, after we get you out of the acute phase. So practice this up to at least 3 times a week. Spend some time in each of these poses. These are not meant for strength. These are meant for relaxing, calming the body out of tension, calming the body out of the acute trauma, and moving some of the fluid around and teaching you how to breathe. So enjoy. Let us know if you have questions.